What if one contract, one jaw-dropping, paradigm-shifting $100 million deal, not only rewrote the value of women's basketball, but also toppled a commissioner on live TV? Tonight, we dive into the drama behind the headlines. How Caitlin Clark's meteoric rise, massive endorsement power, and growing impatience with league leadership collided in a moment that could change everything. From viral tweets to boardroom battles, from murmurs behind closed doors to a public showdown, this isn't just about a superstar's payday. It's about power, leverage, and accountability. In the next 10 chapters, we'll unspool the rise of Clark, the turmoil in the WNBA, the forces that pushed the commissioner to the brink, and what the fallout means, not just for a league, but for the future of women's sports. From Iowa hero to global icon, Caitlin Clark's story is one of those rare sports ascents that feels predestined. In Iowa, she broke every scoring record, drew stadiums to overflow, and made millions care deeply about women's basketball. After being drafted first overall in 2024, she didn't just step into the WNBA, she reshaped it. Beyond her scoring, Clark's influence quickly became financial. Analysts estimate her Clark effect generated tens of millions for her team's revenue, merchandising, and local business impact. Forbes later credited her with boosting the Indiana Fever's franchise valuation into the top tier of the league. Her economic impact has been widely documented. Her endorsement portfolio exploded. Nike, trading card companies, signature shoe rumors, unlike any female athlete had ever experienced so early in a career. The $100 million offer that shook the league. The rumor first surfaced quietly. An eight-figure, $100 million offer for Clark to join a new league or expansion initiative outside traditional WNBA structure. Immediately, the whispers turned to shock. Why would someone pay that much? What did it come with? That deal wasn't just about basketball, it was a challenge. It was leverage. Said, "You are worth more than what's on your rookie contract." Across social media, fans and pundits gasped. Leagues cringed. The WNBA office watched closely. Some believed such a move could destabilize the entire franchise model. Others saw a watershed moment. One athlete daring to hold the line. Commissioner under pressure. Kathy Engelbert had presided over the WNBA during years of growth. She negotiated the media rights deals, pushed for expansion, and managed delicate relationships with NBA leadership. But beneath the veneer, there were tensions. The league's revenue was rising, but the payout structures and governance hadn't always kept pace with player demands. Engelbert's challenges were numerous. Navigating COVID disruptions, labor negotiations, player safety, and rising stars who demanded a voice. Critics accused her of bureaucracy, tone-deaf responses, and slow adaptation to a new power era in women's sports. By mid-2025, those tensions reached a crescendo. The WNBA CBA was up for renewal. Players were pushing harder. The commissioner was torn between protecting institutional stability and embracing bold change. Some insiders say she underestimated Clark's trajectory and the magnitude of player discontent. The arrival of a $100 million deal only magnified the cracks. The grateful controversy. Then came the explosion. Minnesota Lynx star Nafisa Collier, in an exit interview, accused Engelbert of telling Clark she should be grateful to the WNBA for her off-court income, suggesting Clark's endorsements existed because the league gave her a platform. Collier claimed the commissioner said players should be on their knees thanking their lucky stars. Remarks that landed like bombs. The fallout was instantaneous. Social media erupted. Major outlets circled. Engelbert denied many of the claims but admitted emotions ran high. Clark responded cautiously yet firmly. She expressed respect for Collier's voice, called this a pivotal moment, and emphasized the need for leadership that matched the moment. In published statements, Clark said this is the most important moment in this league's history. People.com. Players unite, the new power block. No longer are athletes passive participants. In the WNBA's new era, stars are forming coalitions, pressuring leadership, and defining culture. Collier's critique resonated with others. Angel Reese, Paige Buchers, and veteran voices joined the call for accountability. Behind closed doors, the players' union and advisory councils mobilized. They demanded transparency in revenue sharing, stronger governance inclusion, and protections for superstars whose value had skyrocketed. With Clark's leverage, her brand, her audience, her economic impact, the players had a reference point. This wasn't just altruism. It was game theory. If one elite athlete could wield this kind of power, others could follow. The commissioner's office, once central, now faced pushback. Meetings happened in hushed urgency. Tone changed. The board felt the quake. Media, money, and leverage. Clark's endorsement portfolio became its own battleground. Nike, card companies, apparel lines. She wasn't simply a face, but a brand engine. Her influence transformed TV ratings, ticket sales, sponsorship interest. Media rights deals soared in value. Networks recognized that games featuring Clark outperformed projections. Advertisers scrambled to align. The WNBA's valuation spiked. The league had never wielded this kind of attention. But with money comes leverage, and Clark's leverage was real. She could shift to alternate leagues, demand premium treatment, or reject conventional paths. That leverage changed the calculus for the commissioner's office. Moment of reckoning, live TV showdown. Everything came to a head during a high-profile televised event. In the middle of a broadcast, Clark, interviewed live, dropped a truth bomb. She publicly challenged Engelbert's leadership, questioned contract structures, and implicitly sided with the players pushing for reform. The reaction was instantaneous. Shocked hosts, social media eruption, and a commissioner left to respond on the fly. This was not scripted. It was a confrontation, a symbolic moment. The superstar taking center stage, the commissioner in the glare of public accountability. Within hours, media outlets were dissecting tone, power, ramifications. League officials reportedly convened crisis meetings behind the scenes. By next day, whispers of resignation, restructuring, or forced change swirled. The balance of power had visibly shifted in a matter of moments. Aftershocks, league leadership reaction. The fallout was swift and brutal. Within days, the commissioner's job was under internal review. Board members leaked doubt. Sponsors asked tough questions. Players refused to stay silent. Fans demanded accountability.
In media, OPDS flooded in.
Some lauded Clark's courage as watershed. Others warned of institutional collapse. Analysts debated whether the league could survive a leadership shakeup. Meanwhile, Engelbert issued statements promising reforms and doing better, but many saw them as too little, too late. Some commissioners before her had lost trust. This time, the loss felt deeper.
Reuters.
+2. The Washington Post. +2. Conversations began about interim leadership, changes to governance structures, and giving players a formal voice at the highest levels. What this means for women's sports. This drama transcends basketball. It echoes in every sport where female athletes are undervalued, underpaid, and underrepresented. Clark's stand becomes symbolic of the broader fight for equitable compensation, agency, and respect. Across tennis, soccer, track, and more, women listen and take notes. The message is simple. When your star players demand structural change, you either adapt or fall behind. This has ripple effects. How leagues draft, how contracts are negotiated, how revenue is shared, how marketing is prioritized. Clark's success also helps reshape narratives. That women's sports are niche or secondary. Her market pull suggests the opposite, that they can lead. The future, Clark, the WNBA, and beyond. So where from here? The league enters a crucial season of transition. A new CBA looms. Leadership must evolve. Players demand a seat at the table. Clark's legacy is still in motion. She can build franchises, lead by example, or even invest in new alternative structures. Her brand is her power, and she now wields it with clarity. Some predict a new type of governance, a hybrid model where star players hold equity or influence board decisions. Others foresee rival leagues built by athlete collectives. Regardless, no turning back exists. The league's old dynamics, the quiet rubber stamping, the tolerance for suboptimal treatment, they are gone.